The last idea about finding area and specifically sectors or fractions or percentages of area has to do with the idea of population density. So the population density of a city, country, or state is a measure of how many people live within a given area. So that's where our area connection comes in, usually given in terms of square miles. When we talk about the unit that we're measuring, we're talking a mile by mile square, but it can also be expressed in other units. We're going to stick with square miles for our examples today. So some sample population densities per square mile. Maybe, there we go. We're going to start with Lake Bluff. So Lake Bluff, according to the 2020 census, had a population density of 1,378 people per square mile. So in that one square mile, there were 1,378 people living. In Lake County, so getting a little bit bigger, zooming out, in all of Lake County, there's only 520 people per square mile, which means that Lake Bluff is more dense than Lake County. Now, the city of Chicago, where I happen to live in this year that I am recording this video, has, wait for it, 12,059 people in one square mile, a mile by mile square. There are 12,059 people living in that space. New York City has 29,302 people in that one same square mile. And then the United States, the whole country, if you look at the whole population density of the United States, we're talking 96 people per square mile. So it kind of puts in perspective the idea of city living versus rural living, the whole country, how much land there is, how many people we have, etc. I encourage you to do some research on population density. It's kind of a cool fact, looking up the cities that are the most dense, the countries that are the most dense, which ones are the least dense, like where could you go live and be actually remote by meaning of remote. So do some Googling. It's kind of interesting. Population density from a math standpoint, we're going to call population density P, is the ratio, so a fraction, of the number of people, N, to a given area, A. So if we think about the population density, we were talking about per square mile was our area, but you can measure it, like we said, in relation to city blocks or in terms of any square unit that you would like to. All right, so we have about 430,000 people live in a 5-mile radius of city's town hall. So if I start and I think about town hall, a 5-mile radius, within that 5-mile radius, there are 430,000 people living there. I want to find the population density in people per square mile. So my population density P is going to equal the number of people, 430,000, living in a 5-mile radius. Well, I don't just put 5 miles there. I need to talk about square miles. So this 5-mile radius has an area of pi r squared, or 25 pi. Now, when you type this into your calculator to find what P is, well, first of all, you could leave this exact, that'd be fine. But when you do this, you want to take 430,000 and you either want to put parentheses around your 25 pi, which gives us a population density of 5,474.9 people. Or you want to divide by that 25, press enter, then divide by pi. If you just do 430,000 divided by 25 pi, your calculator is not that smart. It actually comes up with a number that is much bigger because it divides by 25, but then multiplies by pi, which is not what we want to have happen. Last one, a region with a 3-mile radius. So we've got a region with a 3-mile radius, has a population density of about 6,195 people per square mile. Find the number of people who live in that region. So my density is 6,195 is equal to some number of people as compared to, I need to find the area that we're talking about. So pi times 3 squared, or 9 pi. Well, to isolate n, I'm going to multiply both sides by 9 pi. Here I don't have to be as careful because my calculator won't mess things up. If I just say 9 pi times 6,195, I get 175,159.5 people. Ooh, and I just realized my units up here should be people per square mile because I found the population density versus this one I was finding the actual number of people that exist in that space. All right, so that's population density. Again, take a minute for yourself. Go up, look for the most populous city and what is their population density. Then the flip side, find the densest city and see if their population is the greatest. Kind of different ways to think about how we live relative to one another.